Hi and welcome to the latest and greatest of the Honest Modern Dating Podcast. If you're someone who has ever had any questions in relationships, heck, if you're someone who's a high-powered person, like a high-functioning person, if you're someone whose life is just in check, everything just seems to work, but what's going on with your love life? Well, this is the podcast for you. In fact, this is the fucking, how do I say this? This is the me for you. So this podcast is aptly titled Self-Worth, Confidence, and Ugly Jealousy. So I would say self-worth, confidence, and ugly jealousy, as much as ugly jealousy is whatever. But regardless of this, I want to talk a little bit about what makes self-confidence, because, you know, just like everything, there is a way to create self-confidence, and I've sort of systemized it. And with that, there's also self-worth, because what happens with self-worth? It's how you value yourself. And then there's ugly jealousy, which I would argue is, you know, it's like the direct opposite. So make sure to listen to this podcast, because we're gonna be talking about some good stuff, but I don't need to tell you that because you're already here, you're already listening to it. So without further ado, let's get fucking into it. So let's talk about self-worth and confidence like it's the same thing, right? Self-worth and confidence is, in my opinion, one of the most important things that you can look after. It's one of the most important things to look after because what people do is they tend to sort of assume. It's like when you're a child and you're fucking born with confidence. You know, like look at a kid. Look at any child. Sure, some are shy. It's because they don't know you yet. But then they know you. They're like, yeah, look at this, great. I talk about this because I often will mention my niece. My niece, I think she's currently 3. You know, when she was 2, she'd come up to me and she says, I'm 12. And I'm like, are you sure about that? But she, in her fucking purest and innocent essence, is such a charismatic little being. And what's so beautiful about it is I've seen so many people who are like that once we strip off that. So self-worth and confidence is what I would refer to as your core elements. And I talk about this with my clients, but if you've ever seen the movie Shrek, and it's just really funny, you know where Shrek in the movie is like, ogres have layers! Well, it's the same thing here, is that ogres are like onions. It's like we humans are like onions, you know? We are born with this beautiful self-worth, really powerful, self-confident, and amazing sense of who we are. But then shit gets in the way. You know, we meet someone, they don't necessarily like us, so we think we need to change who we are to make them like us. But what happens is all we're doing is adding layers to who we are. And I'm going to argue now that, honestly, you know, you can get layers, right? You can learn business, you can learn this, you can learn that, you can learn how to defend yourself. But a good majority of the time, what I find is this will get you results in other parts of your life. But when it comes to relationships can be one of the most spiritual endeavors that you go on. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. And it can be because when you meet people and they don't necessarily like you, you're forced to strip the fucking fat. And you strip the fat, you strip the fat, you strip the fat, strip the fat over and over and over and over and over and over again until you figure out what matters. In fact, one of my favorite podcasts I did was an interview, right, with a good friend of mine who looked back. And one thing she said, she just like, I'm just going to go for a year and treat dating like it's a sport. You know, not going to get into a relationship, I'm just going to meet people. And I asked her, you know, Tresna Lee, if you were wondering what podcast specifically, look it up. Go on my website, look up the words Tresna Lee. And one thing she spoke about, which was fucking amazing, was I asked her the question, like, hey, if you met the guy you met at the end of the year, which is your current partner, at the start of the year, would you have actually been able to see him? Would you have recognized his value? And the answer is no. She said no.